The Los Angeles Lakers' 2025-26 season has come to an end. The team was swept out of the second round of the playoffs by the Oklahoma City Thunder, and now the focus shifts entirely to what comes next. At the center of every conversation is Luka Doncic, not just as the franchise's most important player, but as the man whose health and preparation will define the direction of the entire organization heading into the 2026-27 campaign. Hey, what's up everyone? Before we jump into everything today, that like button right there is what decides if this video hits hundreds or thousands of people. 1 second is all it takes, but the impact on this channel is massive. Go ahead and hit that like button right now. Seriously, it's the simplest thing you can do, and honestly the best way to back this content up because every single like pushes this further. So hit it now. Doncic, who missed every single playoff game with a grade 2 hamstring strain suffered in early April, has left Los Angeles and returned to Slovenia. Before boarding his flight home to Ljubljana, he sat down with Lakers management for a meeting that covered both teams' strategy and his individual off-season agenda. A report from Slovenian outlet Sport Club, Unveil, spelled out exactly what the organization expects from him over the coming months. According to the report, the Lakers want Doncic to return to the United States in the fall completely healthy and physically ready to compete at the highest level. The plan involves 2 distinct phases. First, a full rehabilitation of the injured hamstring to ensure there are no lingering issues heading into training camp. Second, a gradual physical buildup designed to get him into peak competitive shape for a 9th NBA season that will carry enormous expectations. The hamstring injury that derailed his postseason has been the dominant storyline surrounding Doncic since early April. After sustaining the grade 2 strain, the Lakers and their medical staff tried everything to get him back on the court in time for the playoffs. He flew to Spain to undergo platelet-rich plasma treatment, hoping the procedure might accelerate his recovery enough to allow him to participate in at least some portion of the postseason. In the end, it never happened. The injury proved too serious, and the Lakers were forced to navigate the playoff bracket without their best player. The positive update is that, according to reporting from The Athletic, Doncic is already pain-free and back on the same off-season conditioning program he followed last summer. That program clearly worked. During the 2025-26 regular season, he was the best scorer in the entire NBA, averaging 33.5 points, 8.3 assists, and 7.7 rebounds per game, earning him the league scoring title and a spot as a leading candidate for all NBA first-team honors. The challenge now is replicating that level of readiness, but doing it while making sure the hamstring is genuinely healed and not just managed. There is one additional factor shaping Doncic's summer that has nothing to do with basketball. Shortly after the Lakers' season ended, he made a personal announcement. He will not participate in the FIBA World Cup 2027 qualifiers this summer with the Slovenian national team. The reason, as he stated publicly, is a custody dispute involving his daughters. Doncic made clear that being present for his family takes absolute priority over any international basketball commitment. It was a rare, candid statement from a player who has typically kept his personal life away from public attention. For the Lakers as an organization, this news works in their favor. With Doncic not playing international basketball this summer, he can dedicate his full focus to rehabilitation and preparation without risking aggravating the hamstring or suffering a new injury while competing for Slovenia. The team gets their franchise player back for the full length of the offseason, exactly the uninterrupted preparation window they need going into a high-stakes year. The broader offseason picture for Los Angeles is complex. LeBron James, Austin Reeves, and several other contributors are heading into free agency. General manager Rob Pelinka and head coach JJ Redick face a long list of decisions. Trade rumors involving Milwaukee Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo have already started circulating. The front office is under pressure to build a stronger supporting cast around Doncic, particularly in the front court and on the defensive perimeter, areas where the team showed clear vulnerabilities during the 2025-26 season. The stakes could not be higher. Oklahoma City eliminated the Lakers with relative ease in the second round, exposing just how much Doncic means to everything Los Angeles does on the court. Without him, the offense stalled, playmaking dried up, and the team had no answers for the Thunder's depth. This roster is built around one player above all others. Every off-season variable flows through Doncic's health and readiness. If he returns fully healed, with the same conditioning he demonstrated this past regular season, the Lakers are a legitimate championship contender again. That is why the Lakers' message to their star is simple and direct: take care of the hamstring first. The blockbuster trade scenarios, the free agency decisions, all of it is secondary to ensuring Luka Doncic walks into training camp healthy and ready. For now, he is home in Ljubljana. The real work begins now. The 2026-27 season will be a defining chapter for this franchise. New faces will likely join the roster, key veterans may not return, and the team's identity is still being shaped under JJ Redick's leadership. Through all of that uncertainty, one constant remains: Luka Doncic is the cornerstone. Getting him right this summer is not just a priority, It is the only priority that truly matters right now. The Los Angeles Lakers are heading into a pivotal offseason with multiple roster decisions to make, and the list of free agents they need to address is longer than most fans might initially realize. While the two biggest names dominating the conversation, LeBron James and Austin Reeves, will command the most attention and the most money, there is another player quietly rising near the top of the priority list. Veteran center Jackson Hayes. James is an unrestricted free agent for the first time in a long time, and his future in Los Angeles remains genuinely uncertain. Reeves is widely expected to opt out of the final year of his existing contract before the June 29 deadline, putting him in a position to negotiate a new long-term deal. Both situations will require significant cap space and careful maneuvering from general manager Rob Pelinka and the front office. But beyond those two, Los Angeles faces a wave of additional free agents. Rui Hachimura, Luke Kennard, Maxi Kleber, and Hayes himself will all be unrestricted and free to sign elsewhere. According to ESPN's Dave McMenamin, who appeared on ESPN LA Radio, Hayes has become one of the most important names for the Lakers to re-sign this summer, not as a luxury, but as a genuine necessity. McMenamin was clear that after James and Reeves, Hayes may be next in line in terms of organizational priority. McMenamin explained that the center position is one the Lakers cannot afford to leave unaddressed, and Hayes has now spent several seasons in Los Angeles building chemistry and familiarity with the team's system. What makes Hayes particularly valuable in the current context is his connection to Luka Doncic. The two have developed a rapport on the floor, with Hayes serving as an effective lob target and vertical presence in the pick and roll game that Doncic controls. McMenamin also noted that Hayes is a member of the Slovenian national team, which gives him an additional bond with the franchise's star player, a bond that matters in terms of continuity and locker room cohesion. McMenamin went so far as to call Hayes a virtual certainty to return, describing him as a shoe-in to get re-signed by the organization this summer. If that assessment is accurate, the real question is not whether Hayes comes back, but what his new deal will look like, and whether the finances are manageable given all the other commitments the Lakers are juggling simultaneously. Hayes would likely continue in his role as the backup center in Los Angeles, assuming DeAndre Ayton remains on the roster. Ayton holds a player option for the final year of his contract, and his future is still unclear. There is a realistic scenario in which the Lakers move on from Ayton, potentially in a trade if he opts into his deal, which would elevate Hayes to the primary backup role behind a potential new starting center, or even push him into the starting lineup depending on how the roster is assembled. The bigger picture driving these decisions is the Lakers' reported pursuit of Milwaukee Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo. The front office is expected to aggressively explore a blockbuster trade with Milwaukee, though the lack of significant trade assets makes their position more complicated than teams with greater ammunition. The Antetokounmpo situation could resolve itself before the 2026 NBA draft on June 23, which would clarify the direction of the rest of the offseason considerably. If the Giannis trade does not materialize, the Lakers will likely pivot toward building depth around Doncic through a combination of free agent signings and smaller moves. In that scenario, keeping Hayes at an affordable rate becomes even more valuable. He is a known commodity, a proven fit with the team's offensive system, and a player who does not require any adjustment period or integration process. Head coach JJ Redick and the front office understand that continuity has value. When a team's best player just missed the entire postseason with a serious injury and the roster needs to evolve quickly, having pieces already in place, players who know the system, who understand their roles, who have chemistry with Doncic, is not a minor advantage. It is a genuine asset that simplifies an already complicated offseason. Only time will tell exactly how this all plays out, but if McMenamin's read is correct, Jackson Hayes will be back in purple and gold next season. And in a summer where nothing else is certain, that kind of continuity may matter more than it appears on the surface. The larger roster overhaul will take time to unfold. LeBron James still has not announced his intentions for next season, and his decision alone will reshape how the Lakers approach every other move. Austin Reeves' market value after a strong regular season will test just how committed Los Angeles is to keeping its core intact, and if the Giannis pursuit goes cold. Rob Pelinka will need to find creative solutions in the restricted free agent market and through the draft to address the team's gaps. What remains constant through all of that uncertainty is the need for Doncic to have reliable teammates who complement his style of play. Hayes, with his rim-running ability, his chemistry with the franchise player, and his familiarity with JJ Redick's system, represents exactly that kind of complementary piece. Signing him quickly and efficiently would free up mental bandwidth for the front office to focus on the larger, more complex decisions ahead. In an offseason loaded with noise and speculation, locking up Jackson Hayes may end up being one of the quietest and most important moves the Lakers make all summer. With the Los Angeles Lakers heading into one of the most consequential offseasons in recent memory, General Manager Rob Pelinka and head coach JJ Redick have a clear mandate: build a better roster around Luka Doncic. The big headlines will center on whether the team can pull off a blockbuster trade for Milwaukee Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo, but there is another avenue worth watching closely: the restricted free agent market. The Lakers are projected to have as much as $50 million in cap space this summer, which gives them the resources to pursue players other teams have rights to. 3 restricted free agents in particular stand out as fits for what the organization has identified as its most pressing needs: upgraded center play, elite 2-way wing depth, and a long-term secondary playmaker alongside Doncic. Here is a closer look at each target. Dončić'S. The most compelling and most difficult name on this list is 22-year-old Detroit Pistons center Jalen Duren. This past season was the best of his young career. He averaged a double-double with 19.5 points and 10.5 rebounds per game while shooting an impressive 65% from the field. He earned his first All-Star selection and helped push the Pistons to one of their best seasons in recent years. The Lakers' desire to upgrade at center has been well documented. Reporting from Sam Amick and Dan Wyke of The Athletic confirmed that the front office wants better production from the center position, specifically lob threats with clean injury histories who can excel in the pick and roll. DeAndre Ayton, who is currently on the roster with a player option, did not fully satisfy those requirements in his first year in Los Angeles. Duren represents the kind of athletic, finishing center that would complement Doncic's playmaking perfectly. The catch, of course, is that the Pistons have every reason to retain Duren. He is young, productive, improving rapidly, and central to Detroit's competitive future. However, if the Lakers can construct an offer sheet attractive enough that Detroit hesitates to match it, Los Angeles could pull off a significant roster upgrade. It would be a difficult and expensive maneuver, but the fit is undeniable. A Duren-Doncic pairing in the front court would be a long-term investment worth pursuing. Ayton Denver UGE, the second name on the list, addresses a different need. The Lakers have been clear that they want true two-way wings, players who can defend at a high level, bring athleticism and energy to the defensive end, and shoot reliably from the perimeter. Peyton Watson of the Denver Nuggets checks all of those boxes. The 23-year-old UCLA product had a breakout 2025-26 campaign in Denver, posting career-high numbers across every major category: 14.6 points, 49 rebounds, 2.1 assists, and 1.1 blocks per game, while shooting 49.1% from the field and 41.1% from 3. His defensive versatility, length, and motor are exactly what the Lakers coaching staff has identified as priorities heading into next season. The door could open because of Denver's financial situation. The Nuggets face difficult cap decisions of their own, and matching a significant offer sheet for Watson might not be straightforward. His local ties to Los Angeles, he is a native of the city, could also give the Lakers an edge in his preference. The one concern is durability. Watson played in only 54 regular season games due to a hamstring issue. Still, at 23 years old with his skill set and production, the risk appears manageable. Dončić', the third option, is perhaps the most realistic of the three. Walker Kessler of the Utah Jazz is a 24-year-old center with elite rim protection and rebounding skills, and his future in Utah may be growing uncertain due to the franchise's direction in the upcoming 2026 NBA draft. When healthy, Kessler is one of the more dominant defensive big men in the league. During the 2020-25 season, he averaged 11.1 points, 12.2 rebounds, including a league-best 4.6 offensive boards, and 2.4 blocks per game while shooting 70.3% from the floor. His presence in the paint would provide the Lakers with the rim protecting, lob finishing interior presence they have been lacking. The Jazz are expected to draft a frontcourt player with the No. 2 overall pick in the 2026 NBA draft, which could shift their needs and make Kessler expendable. If Utah moves in a new direction up front, the Lakers should be positioned to make a strong run at him. He would be an ideal fit for Doncic's pick and roll game and would significantly upgrade the team's interior defense. Notable additional options in the restricted free agent market include Tari Eason of the Houston Rockets, Benedict Mathurin of the Los Angeles Clippers, and Quinton Post of the Golden State Warriors. The Lakers have real needs heading into this offseason. The restricted free agent market offers solutions if the front office has the appetite and the resources to pursue them aggressively. The restricted free agent route is not the easy path. These signings require offer sheets, matching periods, and salary cap precision. But for a team that has limited trade assets and major question marks in free agency, targeting players on this list could prove to be the most cost-effective way to upgrade the roster without gutting the core. Pelinka has shown a willingness to think creatively in past off-seasons, and this summer will demand nothing less. If even one of these three players ends up in a Lakers uniform next fall, the team's outlook improves substantially.